With its history of cultural division, cultural engagement post-Troubles has been an issue of concern, particularly as part of the development of an inclusive cultural policy. Working class cultural engagement is an area of focus given the socio-economic demographics of Northern Ireland and the intensity of division among this group. Exploring cultural identity, expression and cultural policy aspects in the context of Northern Ireland, this research responds to the limited research on working class communities and their engagement with cultural policies in the arts in Northern Ireland. Given the importance of cultural identity in the context of political struggle, culture has been seen as a trigger point of conflict in Northern Ireland between the Catholic nationalist Republican community and the Protestant Unionist Loyalist communities. It has been suggested that it would be extremely difficult to make a cohesive and inclusive cultural policy that values and celebrates both communities without backlash or bias. With a lack of cultural policy outlining the priorities of cultural activity and industries in the country, it has been left to the devices of other governmental and public funded bodies to fulfil these aspects and support artistic and cultural outputs. This research focused on one case study titled The Girton Friends, which was delivered by Eastside Arts, an arts-based community organisation based in East Belfast in Northern Ireland. This co-creational project was formed with the local Protestant Unionist Loyalist working class fruit band called the Gertrude Star, exploring their cultural expression and identity with the participation of professional musicians to help shape and create new music together. This project was delivered under a cultural funding initiative for the PUL community in Belfast, granted from the Belfast City Council for arts-based activity working within the area of cultural heritage and identity. Through this research, the importance of co-creation as a key factor is in the success of this project, especially in recognition of distinct cultural identities and cultural value. I also identified the important role that local authorities can play in addressing issues of inequality and cultural participation. I found that valuing the cultural tastes and values of working class communities in the arts and culture are key for engagement. However, understanding the cultural tastes and values for these communities is complex, as there is no deemed working class culture, and particularly in the context of Northern Ireland. Culture is a complicated word for many in Northern Ireland, so respect and trust are vital for gaining knowledge and appreciation for cultural forms with layers of identity and heritage for both communities. The significance of this case study is in showing how recognition of the value of the expression of historically politicised cultural forms might have positive outcomes. Using tools of co-creation and trying new musical styles, setting their own terms, wants and needs for this co-creational aspect helps shift the power dynamics in cultural activity and aspects of cultural democracy as an approach for engagement and rewriting a new narrative for this cultural form within the PUL community. In Northern Ireland, socio-economical classifications are not at the forefront in equality policies, but those from working class communities do contribute to the delivery and cultural activity within their own areas and communities. Through this research, it is hoped that more acceptance of working class cultural forms and other marginalised groups due to socio-economic inequalities will be supported by specific cultural policies to create more inclusion for engagement in the arts and cultural sector in Northern Ireland and beyond.